I've had a lot of time to reflect, about kind of how Mendo has gotten where it is today, and for that matter, how I've gotten to where I am today. Just in the last few months, my co-founder and I, stepped down from the day-to-day of Mendo after 15 years. And of course, the first thing, is what's next. But I think just pausing and asking myself, before what's next, how did we get here? And this last few months of really, thinking about how that happened. And then in the same time, obviously there's been, horrible tragedy, here in Los Angeles, but it's have ripples globally. And that's Kobe Bryant's passing.
Yeah, I can only imagine what we're in LA right now recording this. So I can only imagine what the feelings are like echoing throughout this community. So I'm sorry to hear about that loss.
Yeah, I mean, well, obviously, for his family and all the other people, and I by no means, attest to being a student of Mambo mentality. But we've definitely gone back and listened to some podcasts and watched a lot of documentaries with both of my children, who are really excellent athletes, but pretty thoughtful humans, and the takeaways definitely resonate in some of the takeaways that I've thought about on how Mendo's gotten to a certain spot. And some of the things that just jump out for you is if there was three big takeaways from listening to all of the different documentaries, the first one was outwork your competition, right? So this idea of Kobe getting up at 4:30 a.m. in the morning, why? Because no one else was willing to.
Yeah.
Right. Working out even when he was traveling and not going out and partying, right? And I think it's almost to outwork your competition is just table stakes, right, at this point, particularly even in the restaurant space. So I think you have to work hard. But to your point, I think it's even more important if you were to look at what allowed Kobe to be great is to work smart and to outstudy the competition. They went into detail that he would watch game film, but he was specifically with no ego. I mean, he had plenty of ego when he got on the court, but with no ego, would watch, his opponents and the footwork and to see if he could create an edge, or if they did something special, if he could replicate and improve upon it.
Yeah.
And I think where it's lost often, with in the restaurant space, is the people that and the groups that have really become unstoppable, are able to really go in and study their competition, right? And really be, I'd mentioned being a student of the business. I think I'm going to take it one step farther. I think you need to be a professor of your space, right?
It never stops, right?
And
the learning
really
never stops.
looking, at that, for that inspiration, the innovation, the small little details.
Yeah.
Breaking down the packaging that a competitor might have, or how they're handling third-party delivery. And then the last one that has resonated, and I don't know if I would have pulled it had I not been in this place and watching some of these documentaries, is truly Kobe's loving the pursuit of being the best, right? This idea that he wanted to play against the best team with the best competitor, right? Because he knew that it elevated his game, and he desired that.
Yes.
And I look at some of the people in the restaurant space, and I'll hear things like, them doing non-competes, trying to keep every one of their maybe competitors away from doing business against them. And you have to start to ask yourself, why? Are you not good enough?